Well, Cape Town has among the highest cases of homeless people in the country, and these numbers appear to have increased at an alarming rate during the lockdown. The Western Cape Health Department will now take to the streets to vaccinate some of our most vulnerable people. Our reporter, Ronald Masinda, has been tracking this story and is out on the streets. Ronald, thanks for chatting to us. What's the purpose of the walkabout that you're on, and what kind of feedback are you getting from people who are living on the streets?
Well, good morning, Annika. Well, the Western Cape Health Department says it's on a fact-finding mission to try and get people of the ages of 50 to 59 to get vaccinated, the most vulnerable people living on the streets of Cape Town. Dr. Noma French-Mbombo now joins us for more details. Doctor, thank you so much for your time. Just talk us through the process of trying to vaccinate people who are homeless.
It's 50 and above, because we started with 60-year-olds and above. And now the system is opening up also from the age 50. As you know, that the higher the vulnerability, also with the age, it means that the person is more at risk in regard to hospitalization and severe illnesses when they contract COVID. In the case of the homeless client, we do know that some of them, they don't even have IDs, and it means that it will quite be a challenge. So the homeless community, which is there here now, where I am now, they've tried to make it a point that they communicate with the Department of the Home Affairs, those people who do not have IDs, plus also communicate with us with an understanding that indeed it is a requirement, and also it is a must that their homelessness also they don't get left behind. So the reason that I'm here is just to get in terms of how many that have got IDs and they qualify, which is the over 50s. And also for those who do not have an IDs, how can we ensure and have a communication with the Home Affairs so that they could be able to have an IDs, or what it could be the other ways of making sure that they get vaccinated. Because at the end, whether you are homeless, whether you are a billionaire, whether you are whoever, you need to be vaccinated in order for you to be able to access healthcare services.
All right. Doctor, in terms of awareness programs, are there enough awareness programs for people out there on the streets to know more about being vaccinated?
I don't think so, because even the list that I received from our provincial social development in some of the other homeless areas, you find that there have been some of where they say that, they refuse. I think I got 10 of the list. They're still compiling the others, where they say they refuse. I said that they cannot refuse when they don't know what they are refusing. Therefore, it means that for us, we have to make sure that we create that awareness. But fortunately, some of these shelters like this one, they are professionals. They understand what is at stake. And also they are trying by all means to make sure that no homeless person left behind. And in terms of the vulnerability index, which is, as the Western Cape Department of Health also have been assessing throughout the whole of the province in regard to the areas, you'll find that homelessness is one of the attributes that makes one to be susceptible, and also in terms of regard to the COVID, plus also in other areas of the healthcare services. So that's why for me it's about how can we ensure that in all of these, because they identify about 10 sites as part of the homelessness forum. And also they will be busy now compiling the list of who does qualify over 50, who's got an ID and who doesn't have an ID, so that we can take it further as the government.
To your knowledge, how badly affected are people living on the streets, affected by COVID-19, and also given that perhaps there could be a challenge to track and trace cases?
Default position is the higher the vulnerability, which is homelessness. It means also the higher chances of you being exposed to any type of illness, especially now it is winter. And now also because if it's winter, for some of them who might be there gathering maybe under the bridge and all of those being cozy together, it means that gathering on its own, it does have an impact. So fortunately, these places, this shelter like this, where they come in the morning, they screen them when they are accessed. I'm talking about the ones who are in and about They screen them when they come to make use of the ablution facilities and all of those, and also some of them coming for the soup kitchen. So you'll find that at least there is a safety net that has been created by the civil society, which the government cannot be able to create. So it just gives us a much hope. But as government, we have to take a responsibility to meet them halfway. So that's why we are here to say that, okay, since now that you are able to make them to be under the one roof when they come for, as I indicated earlier, for the soup kitchens or also for the ablution facilities, how can we be able to use that opportunity to vaccinate some of them? Noting also the default position is about the issue of discrimination, whether it's a perception or not, with the homelessness, because when they have to go, because the health facility is not far from here, one might argue that why don't they just go there? But for them, when they will be labeled, smell and all of those, it becomes quite a challenge. Remember, some of them, they might have left home, don't want to be a part of the community. So when you force them, bringing them into the health facilities, it becomes a challenge. So that's why I appreciate the work that is being done by the civil society.
All right, thank you very much indeed for your time, Doctor. Well, that was Dr. Noma French-Mbobo, just giving us an example of some of the programs that could be in place for the homeless. We will continue this conversation by trying to speak to those who could be eligible for the jab. It's back to you for now.
Thanks so much, Ronald. And as you correctly point out, so many homeless are undocumented foreign nationals, and they're very reluctant, of course, to meet with any kind of authority because they're terrified of being deported. So that is indeed a challenge.